So the second stop on the Wisconsin Swing on the Elite Series Tour was Green Bay. That was the mystery event. We went to Green Bay on Lake Michigan, home of the Packers, land of the cheese.
Who cut the cheese?
That place was pretty cool. It's a big, small town. There's only about 50,000 people there. I thought it was really going to be a bigger town. So the hospitality was great. It's a very clean city. The lake was interesting because we had a boundary line. You could not go across a certain GPS coordinate line that went from one side of the lake to the other. It was about 30 miles of the bay that we could go to. I mean, you can go, the bay is about another 60 or 70 miles until it actually reaches the Lake Michigan. So they kind of constricted us to a small area. Some of the best smallmouth fishing was above where we could fish, but we still ended up making do with the event. The river right there, the Fox River that runs into the Green Bay, there was actually where we went out of, there was some decent smallmouth fishing and a few largemouth there. You know, some of the guys stayed there. I chose to run up to towards Little Sturgeon Bay, Riley's Bay, and Sand Bay. There's the three little bays up near the boundary line that about 80 to 90% of the field was all stuffed into. Everybody was up there in that one little area. You know, that bay can get really, really rough. We kind of lucked out. We didn't get too bad a wind, but the one morning, I think it was the second morning, it was really rough. And if you've never driven 30 miles, you know, in 4-foot waves out there on big water like that, you have got to pay attention every single second, because you don't know when that next wave or that next series of waves might cause you to you know, splash and harpoon right into one of those waves, knock your breath out. It's a bad deal. So you got to really pay attention to what you're doing.
Kept their head on a swivel, and that's what you got to do when you find yourself thrust into the middle of a cockfight.
So those rough water, we kind of lucked out, but luckily we were able to get up there and get back safely. I think everybody was fine, no swamped boats. And I was fishing up there a little shallower than a lot of other people were fishing. I was catching some cruising smallmouth, actually caught a few largemouth up real shallow. Ish and I were fishing, we're starting in the same area, and then we'd kind of go our separate ways after that. So we ended up both having, he had a top 10, I ended up finishing 30th. Caught a lot of my fish on the little Drop Craw, Drop Craw, 6-pound Vicious Pro Elite Fluorocarbon. The lighter line was definitely key in that clear water. You were casting it to either the little wolf packs or single fish that you would see. You had to be real careful, because once you saw them and they saw you, and it was over with. So you kind of had to be real stealthy and move around. And we both, Ish and I both, actually caught some fish on a new finesse bait that we've got coming, but you can't take too good of a look at that one quite yet. But that bait is going to be coming out before too long. We're still prototyping it, still working on it. I can tell you right now, the fish like it. So that was kind of our deal up there. And then I came back to the river each of the first 2 days, and I caught one the third day doing it, coming back to the river down there in the Fox River near where the takeoff was, and I threw the chartreuse and black Spro Fat John. This is becoming definitely one of my go-to baits. This thing works fantastic. I've caught just a ton of fish on it, you know, over the course of this year, and this one, it, you know, bailed me out. Caught a couple big ones. Caught one over 3 pounds the first day on it. Caught a couple other real nice fish. Caught a couple nice fish on it the second day as well. So this thing was coming through for me again. But I tell you, Jonathan Van Dam, JVD, put it to him. You know, he put it to him, and Brandon Polinick finished second. Those two guys were right out there in front of everybody. So congratulations to JVD going to his first classic next year. And if we go from here, we got one more event. We've got Oneida, last event for the year, and hopefully we'll go out there and have a decent tournament, and I'll be in the classic with all those guys, just like I was the last couple years. So that's the name of the game, going back into the classic, getting a shot at winning it, doing it every year, and you can't win it unless you're in it. So we're gonna go to Oneida and try to have another good tournament. It'll be another month or so before Oneida, so you'll get your next recap in about a month.